I'm with Adrian Cowin down at the airport, and we are talking about weather warnings and how it appears recently. You're shoving out quite a lot. In the papers saying another amber weather warning. Is it us, or are you sort of issuing more at the moment for starters? I know you are going to change the system, but have there been more?
There have been slightly more amber warnings being issued by the office over the last couple of years, and I think that's an indication of just how more unsettled the weather conditions have been across the British Isles. So it's almost become norm that we get gales, we get bands of heavy rain, and then in the winter we get areas of wintry showers, we get frost, we get snow, we get ice, and the amber seems to be an over-egging now of what's become closer to the norm.
Oh right, because when we used to hear this sort of thing, everyone get ready, batten the hatches down or whatever. But that's all about to change, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes, because we have reviewed this, been thinking about it for well over a year, but reviewed it based on feedback and contact with our multi-agency partners and members of the public and members of the media who are querying, why are there so many amber warnings, especially if they're comparing it to what they may see on the BBC forecasts on television or online, where they see that even when they have a spell of similar severe weather, they're only issuing a yellow warning.
So you in the UK have different systems basically at the minute?
Essentially, yes. Right. Yeah, that's right. The system that we have on the Isle of Man was developed and put in place over a decade ago, and it has served us well. It did take on the context of the Isle of Man being an island community, was a bit more vulnerable to severe weather in comparison to the larger land masses such as the north of England. Right. The Isle of Man, if we have a severe gale, it can have a big impact on terms of travel disruption. Well, they wouldn't worry about that in the north of England to the same level we do, being an island nation. But these systems have been revised in the UK Met Office themselves and our friends in the Irish Met Office as well. And it's come into line with new standards that have been set by most of the Met Office organisations right throughout Europe. And so looking at that aspect, as well as the aspect about too many amber warnings being issued, are losing the punchline about is this serious or not. It's been decided by myself to align ourselves with the new best practice, and the result of that will manifest itself from very soon in the new year, coming into service on the 3rd of January onwards.
So what is an amber now will be lower, or just banding differently? Or?
Yes, it will come in a lower band. It will now come in as a yellow warning for most of the criteria that have been meeting amber under the existing system will only trigger the bottom warning, a yellow warning, under the new system.
So when we do get a new amber, it'll be much more urgent.
Absolutely, and
right.
that's a key point to the new system. You won't see many amber warnings, but when you do get one, it is a heads up. This is serious.
And basically, it sounds like traffic lights. There's a red there if it really all hell breaks loose.
There is that. There always, as there was previously, remain the option for a red warning, and that is for widespread extreme weather that would cause a lot of damage and disruption and a risk of risk to life.
How many of those do you ever issue in a year, or is it that small you don't do them every year? The red, we would normally maybe only issue one red per year, but it can be a variable beast. It may be 2 or 3 years before you get round to issuing a red. By its very nature, that extreme weather event is rare. The other great thing about the new system that we're introducing, the amber warning, it will act as a clear trigger for the need for a multi-agency planning meeting on the Isle of Man between ourselves, the DOI, other utility partners, the emergency services, so there can be a planning of resources, manpower, and such likes, and any extra measures that may need to be put in place, which may include emergency road closures. So over this last year, the year was finishing, if it on the new system, would there have been a red this year in 17?
No.
Right.
No, none of them would have got to the red criteria.
Okay, so that's probably something to look forward to next year. That's the way it's going to go.
Yeah, but it was timely for a review,
yeah,
and it will be useful, especially for our, not only the public, and reduce confusion as we become more coherent with them, shall we say, the international message between yellows and ambers. But it also helps our multi-agency partners plan their resource, because our previous amber had become such a broad brush they couldn't tell if it was going to be a normal amber, or was it going to be at the top end of amber and require a lot of response. And so they were always, is this amber a big one or a small one? So we're getting rid of that confusion. Most severe weather will be catered for by yellow, and we just get on with it as normal. Business as normal, bit of a nuisance, may cause some travel delays, for instance. Whereas an amber, it's not business as normal, it's serious stuff. Sure. Everybody needs to be prepared.
Okay.
And that's one of the taglines to go with amber, be prepared, whereas the yellow under the new system will be just a case of be aware.
Yeah.
Something bad's coming. But
we'll all be listening to you on the radio whenever it happens. You'll be the man telling us about it. So overall, I mean, actually asking the other section when we were talking about the weather, it's normally drier, sunnier, wetter, windier, whatever, when you sum up the year. What was it? Is it an overall for this year? Just average?
If you look at the whole year, you could say close to average, but it came in ups and downs. So it started well, as we know, and
it's never a dull moment, I bet, at this Met Office compared with other ones, which, like, you imagine some sunnier places, they just have sun all the time. Here, it's always challenging.
It is challenging. Yeah. It's interesting. You never quite know what you're going to come across the following day or the following week. You get an inkling. Well, I thought it was going to be unsettled,
but also, what we're doing in Ramsey is something completely different down here, right?
Oh, well.
That's the microclimate.
There's the unique joy of living a lump of rock in the middle of the Irish Sea, the difference we still get between north, south, west and east.
So the best ever viewed video was when nobody had any snow in Douglas hardly at all, tiny bit in Ramsey, but up in the north, Kurt Michael, remember that?
Yes.
2012, wasn't it?
March.
Wasn't that just incredible?
2013, and yes, and we have seen that before, and that one was well predicted by one of my colleagues, that he knew that the drifting snow would only severely affect the west side of the island, and that was an occasion where we did have the prediction of the sleet and snow arriving, but also with gale force east winds in March 2013, and that pulled the bulk of the snow from the hilltops down onto the west side of the island into deep drifts, and that had quite a high impact. So, that's an example of the Isle of Man having a unique nature for its own warning system, because that was only a localised red event. It was severe where it happened, but the rest of the rock was okay.
I remember many, many years ago when I was at Manx Radio, in Douglas it just snowed on Douglas Head, and we went into full snow alert. And then people ringing and saying, "What are you talking about?" Because there was nothing anywhere else. It just a track just went over the middle of the island like that, and then nobody else even saw it. But that's the way it goes, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It does, and this is the thing that even under our new warning system that's coming in, we will bear in mind the unique nature of the Isle of Man, the context of the impact on the local community has to still be thought about.
And because you still put all those systems on the matrix signs, don't you? So you're advising people in different parts of the island, different sort of conditions.
That's right, yeah, and even one side of the mountain to the other, it's quite incredible, really. And a number of times people say, "Snow? What snow?"
Yes.
Or gale? What gale? And it can, literally the type of weather can split across the Isle of Man.
Fantastic. Well, anyway, the new system comes in on the 3rd, you say?
Yes, 3rd of January onwards, new system. How people see that manifest itself, they'll see yellow warnings. Nothing to get too excited about, it just an indication of bad.
But if you hear about an amber or the red, then we're in trouble.
Amber or red, heads up, that's a biggie.
And hatches down.
All that, yes.